have Aubrey, who's the eldest, Will's the second, and then we have the twins. The first time I guess we had any experience with palliative care was actually with Will. He ended up spending the first 3 years of his life in hospital. He had a lung disease that we didn't know about and he just wasn't getting any better. His doctor came in one day and said our best option at the moment, we've tried everything to look into palliative care. We were referred to various special kids. They were looking after him and managing that end of life for us, but we could also stay there. There was a few things that we changed with his care and he made it, and he's now 11.
Quick, run to the house, we've got to get something.
Respite is basically, we call it Will's holiday, but if I need a break or I want to take the other 2 kids on a holiday or anything like that, Will can go and stay there. It is his favourite place in the whole world. We don't know what Will's prognosis is going to be. One day we may be coming here for end-of-life care. At the moment it's just all fun. Unfortunately, that's not our only experience with palliative care. I got pregnant and found out that we were having twins, and we found out that one of the twins had hypoplastic left heart, which is basically only half of her heart had developed, and at some point that she would have to have a full heart transplant. After everything, I guess, that we'd gone through with Will and then that whole palliative care experience with him, when I found out we were having twins, I thought this was our break, that this was kind of a reward for going through that really hard time. And I remember actually thinking, I think this is going to be okay. She needed to make a certain weight to have the operations that she needed. Unfortunately, I wasn't at the weight to have those surgeries.
I think grief can start right at the point that a parent notices something's a bit different about that child, and right at that point when they're noticing those things or they're given that information, I think the grief begins. You're grieving for the life that you thought you'd have, the loss of your hopes and dreams for that child and for your whole family system.
We'd already obviously knew, I guess, the process. We had spoken with VSK, which again was amazing, about deciding to go home and managing it, I guess, for as long as possible. It's really difficult to have a baby who for 2 to 3 days just didn't eat. I think it's obviously their natural instinct to feed them. Elle ended up passing away when she was 13 days old at home. I went and sat in the wardrobe because it was dark, it was quiet, no one could find me, and I was just literally just sobbing and sobbing. You're upset and it's awful, but it's also a blur, and it's not until everything kind of settles down that everything really starts to sink in. Life starts to go back to normal, but yours is still in this kind of mess, and you don't know where to go or what to do. There's so much support when you do have a baby, and to have that support for the end of life care is probably just as important as the start.
Anna is one of our family support practitioners, and she is a beautiful representation of what that team do. Family support practitioners have got that background in psychotherapy or social work, and have a pretty profound knowledge and understanding of grief and loss. So they're able to give families the tools and resources to help them navigate what's happening.
Literally, she's an angel. I could have called her any time of day or night in that early period when I was really, really struggling, and it would not have been an issue. She's the one that made me get out of the wardrobe. I think she called every day, but she came every couple of days, and I remember Anna brought a huge thing of craft and did it with Aubrey. There's a lot that I learned from her about the grief that made things so much easier. People sometimes assume that just because it's been a certain period of time that it's not hard, or it's not a struggle each day thinking about it or dealing with it. even now, years later, I know that if it wasn't for Very Special Kids and the support that they give and continue to give us, there is absolutely no way I would have made it through. Aubrey went to the sibling day, and on the way home, she's like, the other kids there, like their brother or, sister had died as well. And just having people that actually get it and actually understand it for it makes a huge difference. With Leo, he knows that he had this sister and he doesn't have those memories, but he still has the feelings. I feel like he can come and then he can talk about it as well.
If you sort of imagine your grief as a solid coloured ball, which is very ferocious and, wild and unpredictable and all-consuming, and there's the idea that that actually doesn't really necessarily go away, but what tends to happen is that your life slowly starts to grow around it. So you can go back to the intensity of that feeling at any time, but the container and the capacity, it strengthens and grows as time, goes on.
There's a lot of things that I've done since she's gone that I probably wouldn't have ever dreamt of doing before I've started a business. I think it would probably be hard for some people to understand when I say that I'm grateful for the experience, because it's allowed me to live a life that I want to be living.